Last time we talked about what copyright is, how it works, and what it protects. And if you missed that one, you might want to go back and watch that episode to make sure that you have the basic understanding of copyright before we dig into copyright as it applies to small businesses. So, does your small business even have copyrightable assets? The answer to that question is it probably does. So let me give you an idea of some of the things that are subject to copyright protection that you may be using in your small business. Marketing copy, website copy. So all of the things that you use in marketing your business and all of the things that you put on your website. Blog posts. If you have a blog on your website or if you are blogging separately from your website, each of those posts is subject to copyright protection. Videos. Now, this is videos that you create for Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, wherever you're putting them. Your videos are your creative expression and they are entitled to copyright protection. Course content. If, as a small business owner, you are providing courses online or in person, the content, the material that you are including in those courses is subject to copyright protection. Books and ebooks. So if you have, as a business owner, written a book like I did, Smooth Sailing, then that book is subject to copyright protection. If you've done it as an ebook, that is also subject to copyright protection. That also applies to, if you've created an ebook, but you haven't launched it through Amazon or another marketing platform, if you're just putting it up as available as a download on your website, it still applies. Articles that you put into magazines, newspapers, whether they're online or in print, it doesn't matter. They are all subject to copyright protection. Graphics that you create for your social media, for your business, whether it's something you're posting on Facebook or LinkedIn, or it's something that you are having printed as a flyer, as a postcard, those are all subject to copyright protection. And finally, all of your images. So if you take photos of events that you are hosting, of yourself speaking somewhere, all of that is also subject to copyright protection. And as long as you are the creator and you have met the requirements for copyright, that it's an original work of authorship, that it's fixed in a tangible medium, and that it's a function of your creative expression, sorry about that, then it is subject to the bundle of intellectual property rights known as copyright. Now, how is it that once you have these assets, you can even protect them? So let's talk about that for a minute. First off, use a copyright notice. Now, a lot of people skip this. You see it all the time in books, but people forget to put it on their website. They forget to include it on blog posts. If your blog is on your website copyright will cover it. But you want to make sure that you have told the world, hey, this is my creative expression. It's subject to copyright laws. Next is for anything that's text-based, you can set up a Google alert. You can take a portion of that text and set up a Google alert, and Google will let you know anytime it appears somewhere else so that you know if someone else is using it or quoting you or whatever. With regard to like a blog post or a book you've written, take a really juicy piece of it, one where you've done a really nice turn of phrase, creative expression on something, and use that as your Google alert search, because that's the piece that other people are most likely to try to steal. Next is with images, watermark them. Now, the watermark does not stop people from stealing them, but it makes it a little bit harder for them to actually use it without it being noticeable. Hire a copyright monitoring service. So there are actually services that instead of you doing these things, setting up the Google alerts and, trying to figure out where else they are, these companies will send search bots out onto the internet to scroll and look for your material and let you know if they find it anywhere else. And finally, proactively register your copyright. Now, your copyright rights as an owner attach the minute your creative expression is fixed in a tangible medium. But that only goes so far. If you want to be able to sue for infringement, you need to file that copyright. And we're going to talk a lot more about that the next time on the next episode. I will dig into the benefits of copyright registration, but believe me, this is an important piece of protecting your intellectual property assets. So now what happens if you do find through these searches that somebody is using your material and infringing on your copyright? The things you can do. Number one, you can ignore it. And this is actually a reasonable choice under certain circumstances. If the information you have is something that you want out there, whether you get credit for it or not, it's just for the greater good, then you may allow somebody else to use it without giving you credit, without your permission, and you may just say, that's fine, I'm good with it. The second thing, send out a cease and desist letter. So the cease and desist letter is basically a letter asking the party who is infringing on your copyrighted material to stop. And sometimes you can ask for damages on that as well. And hopefully that's enough to get them to back off. But often it's not. If they're infringing, they're just like, they've already broken the rules. So a simple letter is not going to be enough to slow them down. The third one, offer them a license. So you can include this in your cease and desist letter, but say, I don't have a problem with you using my material, but you need to pay for it. So the license to use that blog post, that image, whatever it is X dollars, and compensate yourself fairly and ask them to pay for the license to use your material. Now, if the cease and desist letter or the offer of a license isn't enough to stop them from using your material and infringing on your copyright, the next thing is to file an infringement suit in federal court. But again, you have to have a copyright registration to be able to do that. So tune in for the next episode when we're going to talk specifically about how you get that copyright registration and the benefits of a copyright registration.